Hi, this is Dana Arcuri, author, speaker, survivor, and advocate from danaarcuri.com. Today's topic is your soul mission, own it. And before I get into everything that I have learned and gained insight from in the month of June 2020, when I took a little YouTube break, I wanted to first share my calendar's inspiring quote, because I think that this is something that all of us need to hear, just a gentle reminder for the beginning of July 2020. And the reminder is slow down, breathe, and relax. And then it goes onward to say, the long, lazy days of summer are here. Take this time to slow down and enjoy the beauty surrounding you. This is a good time to simplify your busy schedule and bask in the life-giving energy of the sun. And I think that all of us need time to step away from the drama, the trauma, and all the crazy chaos in the world, especially with what's going on with the COVID-19 and the second wave and all these things happening within our world, that right now is a great time to practice self-care, to take a little vacation. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to the beach or you're going on a cruise or you're going on some big long vacation across, the world, or traveling. For you, it might just be that you're spending time in nature. You are doing all the things you love. Maybe you're a painter. Maybe you're a musician. Maybe you love to cook and you're finding all these wonderful new recipes. Whatever it may be, do what you do and have fun with it. And take time for you, because I really think that, especially what I noticed is when I stepped away from YouTube for a little bit in the month of June, it really gave me a lot more time to just slow down, take a deep breath, to relax, to have that tranquil moment. A lot of time I spent in nature, lots of bird watching, lots of really amazing moments that were like synchronicity, aligning me to the universe and then applauding me. It's almost like the universe shined on me and said, yes, you go, girl. And I just walked away from the month of June so much happier and so much more peaceful and so much more just excited about life and about what's to come for the rest of the year. And so, before I get into the major point of our topic, I needed to bring up and give a shout out to my friend, Beth Jones. So Beth and I go way back, and it might even be 11, 12 years ago. With time, I sometimes cannot remember how long we've known each other, but she's an author. She is a speaker. She has traveled the world. She is a life coach. And many years ago, when I was in the very, very beginning of my writing career and speaking, she was the big motivation behind it. She was that really helpful person, that encouraging person who believed in me before I believed in me. And so in the early part of June this year, when I stepped away from YouTube for a little break, I had sent her an email. So I was kind of talking to her about the things that are concerning me and different things in regard to, my life purpose and where I'm heading. And there was a lot of confusion and a lot of heaviness. And I was at a place where I just felt like it was becoming very draining to keep having videos about narcissistic abuse, toxic siblings, and the unhealthy, dysfunctional dynamics of my family. And so I needed that little space that I could just honor where I was at and say, you know what? It's okay to not feel okay. It's all right to need to just unplug and unwind and try to reset, refuel, and revigorate yourself. And that's exactly what I did. But the one thing, when Beth had written back to me, so she responded to my email, she wrote back to me, and she said a lot. She said a lot, and it was all helpful. But the one thing that she said that stuck with me this whole month, it really resonated within my spirit, it was so on point, people, is she said, You have been through so much. You have been through so much trauma and abuse and people who have hurt you, people who have betrayed you, people who you lost their trust, people who should have been there to love you, should have been there to value you, and perhaps things have not always been easy for you. And she said, but own it. Own it. And so as this month went on, I started pondering, I started reflecting on what Beth said, especially the part about own it. And so that's what this video is going to be about, because all of us we have a history, and sometimes our history is not pretty. Sometimes we have gone through extremely excruciating, painful experiences, broken relationships, betrayal, trauma, mental health concerns, physical health concerns, bankruptcy, foreclosures, divorces, miscarriages, loss of dreams. I mean, there are so many of you who have shared with me, you have had these dreams. Maybe you wanted to be a musician. Maybe you wanted to be an artist. Maybe you wanted to be a chef. Maybe you wanted to be someone who is into technology, and this is where you shine, but things didn't unfold that way for you. And so you felt cheated. You felt disappointed. You felt drained, just drained by things not working out for you. And I get it, because I've been there too. And I understand disappointment, and I understand the tragic losses, especially when we have family members that may have mistreated us, that may have bullied us and manipulated us, and we ended up going no contact. And yeah, it's a real heavy topic. And there are times when we need to just say, I'm going to carve out special me time so I can unwind, so I could kind of ground myself, so I can help myself continue healing. And the thing that I love about owning it, exactly what Beth said to me, own it, embrace it, everything that happened to you, there's a purpose for everything. There is a higher purpose. And I do believe that we all have a soul mission. So whether you believe in a higher power, or you believe in God, or you believe in something totally different, we can all understand that we're not here by accident. We're not on earth for this minute, for such a time as right now, by accident. And there are no coincidences. Everything is in alignment. Everything happens and transpires for the right time, for the right purpose. And we can see in the past how much it has grown us, how much it has transformed us, and we have evolved. We have changed. And that's something beautiful, because like a butterfly, the butterfly was never meant to stay in the dark cocoon forever. The butterfly was meant to be in a period of solitude for a certain amount of time. And in that time, that's when the butterfly can develop. And we are like the butterfly. We're developing. And this is our soul mission, to develop, to grow, to have this wonderful metamorphosis where we can eventually get our wings and soar. And even though there are times we are that butterfly, we are soaring high, people, but there are times we need to take a step back, to refresh, to ground ourselves, to find balance. And for me, balance has always been a bit of a struggle. I'm going to keep it real, like right out there, honest, keep it real, keep it raw. With my ADHD, I don't always handle balance the best. Usually when I do something, I do it with all my heart, with all my soul. I go, right into it, and I just give it my all, because that's who I am. That's what I'm all about. That's just part of me, who I am. But we have to understand that there are times while we may be giving people and we may be helpers, on earth with this mission to help other souls to thrive and to soar and to grow and to transform, we ourselves have to sometimes step away from helping others, because we have to help ourselves. We have to help ourselves. And boy, oh boy, the month of June was a huge, huge time to really regain my footing. And that's a great thing because now I have so much more clarity. And as I start July, I'm so excited for what is around the bend. So we have to understand that as far as this whole idea on own it, own everything. So we embrace our past, and that means we own it, everything. We own the trials and the trauma and the tears and the losses and the grief and the troubles and the broken relationships and the jobs that didn't work out and the dreams that fell apart. We own it. We own it. And what happens is that in the doing so of owning it, we walk away wiser people, because in our life journey, we were taught valuable lessons. It gave us so much wisdom to understand that, you know what? Sometimes closed doors are a blessing in disguise. Look back on some of the experiences you've had where there was a closed door. Maybe you wanted to go to college and you weren't accepted into that university. Maybe you wanted to get married and that person didn't show up at the altar on your wedding day. Maybe you wanted to work at a specific position and it would have been just so awesome and it just didn't work out. But there are times when we look back on this, we can understand and see the puzzle. The mystery is solved and we realize, that was a blessing in disguise. We had someone looking out for us, you know. And whether you believe in a higher power, whether you believe in God, or you believe in like angelic encounters and that there's guardian angels watching over you, or you just believe in something totally different, we can all come to the agreement that there are some things in life that do hurt. They're not meant to be, but boy, oh boy, do they teach us amazing lessons. We learn so much about us. We learn so much about others, and we learn a lot about growth, the growth, and the growth, personal growth, spiritual growth, professional growth, relationship growth, anything to do with intimacy. We learn so much, and it makes us who we are today. Next is we have to understand that it's these very life lessons, these very disappointments, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between, that spurs us on to create a new, fresh start, to set healthy boundaries, to be truth seekers, to not permit other people to project their false beliefs and their own fears onto us. So when we start to heal, it actually sends a ripple effect into our world. It helps humanity heal. So it's one soul at a time. We have to know that our healing, it's not just for us. Oh no. When we start to heal, when we start to recover, when we expand and we go through this wonderful metamorphosis, this beautiful transformation, the goal is to touch other lives in a positive way. And so everything we learn, we turn around and we teach. We give back. We pay it forward. We help others heal. We give others hope. And for some people who are silenced and they're still in a very dark place right now, we become the voice for the voiceless. Next is we have to understand that, you know, everyone has a different reason, a different purpose for being here on earth. Okay, so my soul mission and your soul mission, totally two different things. They're not the same because each of us are different. So your giftings, your talents, your skills, your strengths, and the things that you love might be very different than the things that I love, the things that are my strengths, my talents, my skills, and the things that sets my soul on fire. And that is fine. Think about it. Wouldn't our world be boring and dull if all of us were identical? We actually are a better world because we're so different from one another on many different levels. You know, I admire people who have computer tech, these savvy skills, because that's my weakness. And many people, they admire my ability to write because maybe that's not their strength. And so together we can balance each other. Together we bring our strengths on board and it just really blossoms into something wonderful. It just is something that can make our world so wonderful. Next is that until we learn our remarkable lessons in life, and trust me, at every stage of life, whether you're very young, you're mid-age, or you are well into your senior years, you're never too old. You're not too old to learn something new. Never give up hope, because age is only a number, just like fine wine. We just keep getting better, people. And next, we have to understand that, okay, here's another thing. Big, important factor of the life lessons is this. What we don't learn, okay, because let's be honest, let's call it out. There are times there's life lessons that are painful. Ooh, it stings, and we're just like, oh, I don't like this, and it hurts, and it doesn't feel good, and I'm uncomfortable. And we might actually wrestle with it. And so when there's that wrestling going on, oh my goodness, it's like a tug of war, it's like a boxing match, people. And I've been there too. There are times, trust me, in 2018, when I went no contact for the first time with my birth family, oh, there was a wrestling match going on. There's nothing that felt comfortable about it. There's nothing that felt good about it. There's nothing that felt easy or smooth sailing. No, but in that wrestling match, it grew me. It grew me in the dark. It grew me in the back battling moments of owning up to, yes, this is my birth family. Yes, they are bullying me. They don't value me. They don't love me. And they are trampling all over my healthy boundaries. And yet, it was that year, that moment in time when I learned I do have value. My life does matter. And you don't get to project your junk onto me and distort my reality, because regardless of what other people think about us, what really matters most is what we think about our own selves. And when we can own up to, life might not be easy, relationships might be difficult, and sometimes we do need to end our relationships because they're just not working out and we can't change them, and we walk in acceptance and we acknowledge the truth, and we could just agree that the best thing for our health, especially our emotional and physical health, is to walk away from anything that no longer serves us, no longer helps us, and no longer can even value where we're at. And so we value ourselves. We can give ourselves the love that we were never receiving. We can offer ourselves a slice of joy in those moments. There could still be happiness. And the thing is that people think, after you go no contact, it's so difficult and it's so hard. And there could be tears and there could be grief, and there is a season of mourning. There is a season of going through all the 5 and 6 stages of grief, and you could be bouncing around, and trust me, I've experienced it. But eventually we will reach the other side. Eventually there is a sun that is going to shine on that darkness. It is going to give us hope, and we're going to see there's a new season ahead of us. There's something so much more. And so we could allow ourselves to reflect on those hard years and to ask ourselves, what did I learn? What have I walked away from? And what has it actually taught me? And we could start really pondering these questions and not giving ourselves validation is a disservice to ourselves. We may have struggled all of our lives with not being validated, with being told you're the problem, you're the trouble, you're the reason that everything has fallen apart. So I think validation with our own selves is vital, regardless what other people think, because we reach a place where we become so strong and so confident in who we are, it no longer matters what other people think. What matters most is what we think. Because what we think about ourselves, that's who we become. And so we want to become healthy people. We want to have a sound mind. We want to be stable, productive people in society who are healing so we can help humanity heal right along with us. Next is that, what happens is this. One day, just like that, it clicks. Everything falls into place and we understand, this is my past. This is my history. This is what I have gone through. No, it's not been completely smooth sailing. There have been bumps in the road. There have been dead ends. There have been U-turns. There have been times where you feel like you ran out of gas and you needed to take a little time out. But yet, we finally learn these beautiful lessons. We have a new understanding. We have this new found confidence in who we are, and then we could go forth and continue expanding, continue transforming, because healing and life lessons will continue. They'll continue on and on and on. Even after our body is gone, we're just a vessel, people. Our soul is in a human body, and someday that human body is going to no longer exist. But our soul will exist. Our soul will continue expanding. Our soul lives on eternally. And so the month of June helped me come to a better understanding of my soul mission, to come to a better understanding of my valuable lessons that I've learned, and to own it. And I'm excited because I'm deciding on these new adventures. And I'm writing my 6th book, something I've never in a million years thought I would write about, but I'm going to be writing a 6th book. It's more a spiritual topic, and it's to do with these remarkable divine signs, these wonderful things that happen. They could be dreams, they could be visions, it could be prophetic words and messages, it could be angelic encounters, it could be these God moments that kind of just happen unexpectedly, and they have us speechless. They have us in awe. Sometimes it just brings us so much comfort and so much peace when supernatural phenomena touches our lives. It opens our eyes to a whole new reality, that what we see on earth is not what is just the only thing existing on earth, that there's so much more. There's so much more to life, and it's not just seen with the naked eye. And so I think that I am so ready for this. I am so ready, and I'm excited for the month of July. I'm excited for the rest of 2020. And no matter what's happening in this world, no matter what's going on, I am doing myself this huge favor by spending a lot of time still unplugged, because I think for me, there's too much noise going on, especially on social media. There's a lot of people who have their own ideas, their own thoughts, their own beliefs, and they might not align up to mine. And I believe that when there's so much noise and when there's so much chaos and there's so much tension and unrest, especially in America, the kindest act of self-care we could give ourselves is to give ourselves a break, to practice self-care, to do what we love, to tap into our special strengths and our special soul mission in life to help humanity heal. And the next thing is that, and this is so vital, when our old pain becomes renewed strength and we have brand new courage, we become stronger together. And so today, learn from your past mistakes. Learn from the things that happened to you, whether they were good, whether they were bad, whether it was betrayal, whether it was hurtful, whether it was traumatic, everything you've been through. You could either be bitter or you could be better. Today, take everything you've learned, step out of the dark cocoon, expand yourself, and let this grow you and help heal you, because then you will be a light in the darkness within our world, and we so need your light. And if you'd like to share with me what you're up to, how you are expanding, and if you've ever experienced any supernatural phenomena, share with me. I'd love to hear your stories. And I look forward to chatting with you in the month of July. You could visit me at danaarcuri.com. God bless.